The tennis ball rocketed toward my face like a meteor, and I swear time froze as I swung wildly, missing it by a mile and tumbling ass over elbow onto the cracked court. Laughter exploded from the bleachers, harsh, mocking waves that crashed over me. But then a shadow fell across my vision, and there was Jake Harlan, crouching down with that killer smile, his hand extended like a lifeline. "Hey, new guy," he said, voice low and steady. "That's not how you win a war. You gotta learn to fight back first." I wasn't supposed to be here, on this sun-baked slice of hell called Eisenhower High's tennis courts, surrounded by the kind of kids who peaked in gym class and never looked back. It was the fall of my senior year in Elmwood, Ohio, a nowhere town where cornfields stretched like bad decisions, and the biggest excitement was the annual harvest fair with its rigged ring toss. I was Alex Rivera, the quiet kid with the thrift store hoodies and a backpack full of dog-eared sci-fi novels, the one who blended into lockers like camouflage. Gay? Yeah, I'd figured that out in freshman year, staring too long at the swim team during PE. But admitting it? That was a one-way ticket to whispers in the halls and lockers slammed in your face. So I kept my head down, my crushes buried under layers of sarcasm, and my weekends lost in video games that let me be anyone but me. Jake Harlan was the opposite. Captain of the tennis team, homecoming king material with his tousled blonde hair that caught the light like wheat fields at dusk, and eyes the color of Lake Erie on a stormy day, gray-blue and impossible to look away from. He was the guy who could ace a serve and charm a teacher out of detention in the same breath. We'd shared English lit since sophomore year, trading eye rolls over mandatory Shakespeare, but we'd never spoken. Until that godforsaken PE class where Coach Ramsey decided dodgeball was character building. I'd been dodging all right. Life mostly when Jake mid-game lobbed that ball my way. Not malicious, but playful, like he was testing the waters. I botched it spectacularly, and instead of piling on with the jocks, he jogged over, hauled me up, and muttered, "You swing like you're allergic to fun. Ever tried tennis? I could teach you. Saturdays at the rec center. No pressure." I laughed it off, nerves making it sound like a cough, but his grin didn't fade. "Think about it, Rivera. Might save you from more black eyes." And just like that, the hook was set. Why me? I obsessed over it for days, replaying the moment in my head like a glitchy highlight reel. Was it pity? A prank? Or, God forbid, did he see something in me that screamed, "Project"? By Friday, curiosity won. I texted the number he'd scribbled on a napkin in class. "Sure. Why not?" His reply pinged back instantly. "Attaboy. 10 a.m. Bring water and zero expectations." The rec center courts were a relic, faded green lines on asphalt that baked under the Midwest sun like a griddle. I showed up in ratty sneakers and shorts that hung loose on my lanky frame, feeling like an extra in a bad sports flick. Jake was already there, racket in hand, white polo clinging just enough to his shoulders to make my pulse stutter. "Glad you made it," he called, tossing me a spare racket that felt heavier than my secrets. Rule 1. Grip it like you mean it, not like it's a venomous snake. He wasn't kidding about the teaching. Jake had this way of breaking it down. Stance like a coiled spring, swing like a whisper turning into a shout. His hands brushed mine, adjusting my form, casual touches that lingered a beat too long, sending sparks up my arm I tried to ignore. We volleyed soft at first, balls pinging back and forth like hesitant conversation starters. "So, what's your deal, Alex?" he asked after I finally connected one clean, the thwack echoing like victory. "You don't strike me as the jock type." I shrugged, wiping sweat from my brow. "Beats algebra homework." "You?" He laughed, that easy rumble that made his eyes crinkle. "Tennis is my escape. Dad's a lawyer, always on about colleges, scouts. Mom's gone. Cancer 2 years back." His voice dipped, then recovered like a pro serve. "Out here, it's just me and the ball. No expectations." We played for hours that first Saturday, the sun climbing high and turning the air thick with humidity and unspoken things. By the end, my arms ached, but something in my chest felt lighter, like I'd lobbed a worry over the net. "You're a natural," he lied, clapping my shoulder. "Same time next week?" I nodded, too winded to argue. And just like that, Saturdays became ours. Week 2, we grabbed slushies from the vending machine after cherry red staining our tongues as we sprawled on the grass verge, talking about everything and nothing. He confessed his fear of flunking calc. I admitted binge-watching old Star Trek reruns to drown out family dinners where my parents dissected my potential like a frog in bio. His family was fractured. Dad buried in work, little sister Ellie tagging along to practices with her pigtails and endless questions. Mine was intact but indifferent. Mom a nurse on endless shifts, Dad a mechanic who thought emotions were oil leaks to be fixed with a wrench. By month 2, the lessons blurred into friendship. Jake started calling me Ace. Ironic, since my serve still hooked wild, but it stuck, a nickname that made me feel seen. We'd linger post-game, him demonstrating spins with exaggerated flair, me pretending not to notice how his laugh lit up the court like fireworks. One afternoon, as thunderheads gathered on the horizon, he asked about my sketches, doodles of alien landscapes I'd absent-mindedly traced on my water bottle. Artist, huh? Show me sometime. I promised I would, heart hammering. The turning point came in October, leaves turning the town into a postcard of rust and gold. We'd just wrapped a session when Ellie barreled onto the court, all 8 years of freckles and fury. Jake, Daddy says dinner's in 10, and you promised spaghetti. She spotted me and beamed. Is this your boyfriend? He's cute. The world tilted. Jake's face flushed crimson, a rare crack in his cool. Ellie, geez, no. Alex is my tennis buddy. He ruffled her hair, shooting me an apologetic glance that held too much weight. Buddy. The word landed like a poorly aimed lob, but I played it off with a chuckle. Hey kiddo, boyfriend material? Nah, I'm more the sidekick type. Ellie scampered off, but the air hummed with awkward static. As we packed up, Jake cleared his throat. She's got a big mouth. Ignore her. Water under the bridge, I said, zipping my bag. But inside, questions swirled. Was that panic in his eyes, or something else? That night, alone in my room with posters of nebulae curling at the edges, I let the what-ifs loose. Jake Harlan, straight-A golden boy, with his easy charm and hidden hurts. Could he feel it too? The pull like gravity between two stars on a collision course. I shoved it down, but sleep came fitful, dreams of green courts and gray-blue eyes chasing me through the dark. Week 3 post-Ellie, things shifted. Jake arrived with takeout tacos from El Toro, our new ritual. Fuel first, then fury on the court. Midway through a rally, my racket caught the ball sweet, dead center, and it sailed straight, clipping the line. Yes, he hooped, vaulting the net to high-five me. His palm met mine, and he didn't let go right away, our fingers interlocking for a split second that stretched eternal. Ace, that was poetry. Heat flooded my cheeks. Fluke. Bull. You're getting good. He held my gaze, the world narrowing to the space between us. Sweat-slick skin, ragged breaths, the faint scent of his citrus cologne mixing with clay dust. Then, as if sensing the charge, he stepped back, rubbing his neck. Hey, scouts from OSU are coming to regionals next month. You should come watch. Moral support. I'd never been to a match, let alone one that mattered. Me? In the stands with the cheer squad. He grinned. Especially you. Keeps me grounded. I went. Regionals were chaos. Elmwood High's gym transformed into a coliseum of squeaking sneakers and parental cheers. Jake dominated, serves like thunderclaps, returns that danced on the baseline. I sat mid-row, heart sinking to his rhythm, whispering encouragements under my breath. When he clinched the set, he scanned the crowd, locked eyes with me, and pumped his fist. Just for me. After, in the emptying lot under sodium lights, he found me by my beat-up Civic. You see that backhand? All you ace. Your tips from last week. Liar. But thanks. Adrenaline buzzed between us, the night crisp with possibility. He leaned against my car, closer than necessary. Listen, about Ellie, what she said. It's not. I'm not. He trailed off, jaw tight. My stomach nodded. Not what? Gay? It's cool, Jake. I get it. His eyes flashed. That's not. Damn it, Alex. He pushed off the car, pacing 2 steps, then stopped inches away. It's complicated. Small town, Scouts sniffing around for all-American types. Dad's already got me pegged for frat row at state. But you're different. Real. The air thickened, words hanging unsaid. I could have bolted, preserved the fragile normalcy. Instead, I whispered, "Complicated how?" He closed the gap, his hand finding my arm, tentative, electric. "Like this." And then he kissed me. Soft at first, testing, then deeper, tasting of Gatorade and relief. The world exploded in stars. My hands fisting his shirt as if he'd vanish. When we broke, foreheads pressed, he breathed, "I've wanted that since dodgeball." "Me too," I admitted, voice raw. "All of it." From there, it was stolen moments. Quick kisses behind the equipment shed. Texts at midnight dissecting sonnets with subtext only we caught. Jake opened up. His mom's laugh echoing in empty rooms. The pressure of being the man of the house at 17. I shared my fears. The itch to escape Elmwood for art school in Chicago. The dread of coming out to folks who'd love me but not understand. We were tentative architects of something beautiful, building on whispers and weekend courts. But Elmwood had eyes. Whispers started. Glances in the cafeteria. A snicker when we high-fived in the hall. Jake brushed it off. Jealousy's their default. I wanted to believe him. Thanksgiving loomed. A week off that promised turkey and tension. Our last practice before break. The courts dusted with early frost. Jake pulled me into a hug that lingered. "Miss you already?" he murmured into my hair. "Same." I pulled back, searching his face. "Hey, after break. Maybe we tell someone? Ellie, at least. Make it real." His smile faltered, just a flicker. "Yeah, soon." But the seed of doubt took root. Break was brutal. Home alone while Mom pulled doubles and Dad tinkered in the garage. I sketched Jake. His profile against autumn skies, racket mid-swing. Texts trickled, family drama. Dad's on a tear about grades. Then silence. By Wednesday, panic clawed. I drove to his place unannounced. A rancher on the edge of town with sagging porch lights. Ellie answered, eyes wide. "Alex, Jake's in the den. But he's weird." "Weird how?" She led me through, past framed photos of a smiling family pre-cancer. Jake hunched on the couch, remote in hand, face gaunt. "Ace? What?" Radio silence. "Thought you bailed." Hurt sharpened my words. He stood, glancing at the kitchen door. "Dad's home. Look, it's been hell." He found my phone, saw the texts. Flipped. Said if I go that way, no college fund, no nothing. My blood iced. And I'm fixing it. Told him it was a phase, messing around. Bought time. His voice cracked. "I can't lose everything, Alex. Not yet." Betrayal hit like a gut serve. "A phase? That's us. It's strategy. Survival." He reached for me, but I jerked back. "Survival for you. What about me? Your project?" Tears burned, but I choked them down. "Forget it. We're done." I stormed out. Ellie's confused, "Bye." Trailing. The drive home blurred through sobs. Elmwood's lights smearing into accusations. How could I be so stupid? Jake Harlan, golden boy, always landing on his feet. While I shattered on the asphalt. Days crawled. I ghosted his pleas. "Please talk." Panicked. Turkeys thawed. Families gathered. But mine felt hollow. Mom's tired smiles, Dad's grunts over pie. Black Friday, I wandered the mall, dodging holiday cheer, when my phone buzzed. Not Jake, a classmate, Mia from art club, heard about you in Harlan. Careful, words out. Words out. The bomb dropped mid-December, first Monday back. Hallways buzzed like hives, stairs pinning me like specimens. Jake avoided my locker, but in English he slid a note. "Meet after school. Please." I crumpled it. Screw him. But curiosity or masochism won. The courts waited, empty under gray skies, wind whipping leaves like confetti for a funeral. He was there, racket abandoned, face bruised. Not physically, but hollowed. "Alex, I screwed up. Big time." "No shit." I crossed arms, armor against the ache. Dad grounded me after. No phone, no car. But that's not. I told him the truth last night. All of it. His voice trembled. Screamed it, actually. Said if he cuts me off, I'll bust tables in Chicago with you. For us. I blinked, wind stealing my breath. You. What? He backed down. Sorta. Said we'd talk therapy after holidays. But I chose you, Ace. Messy terrified me. But you. Tears pricked. Why now? Why not before? Fear. The American dream bullshit. Perfect son, perfect life. But it's a lie. You're the real dream. He stepped closer, tentative. Forgive me. I searched those gray-blue eyes, seeing the boy who'd hauled me up from dodgeball dirt, who'd kissed me under parking lot stars. One condition. No more hiding. We face it together, scouts, dads, the whole small-town circus. Deal. His smile broke, tentative sun through clouds. He pulled me in, kiss fierce and forgiving, salt of tears mingling. Winter thawed into tentative spring. We came out, first to Ellie, who squealed and demanded cake. Then Mia, who hugged us fierce. Parents next, mine stunned but supportive. As long as you're happy, Mijo. His dad grumbling but thawing over shared coffees. School? Rough? Slurs scrawled on lockers, a shove in the lot. But Jake's arm around me in the halls turned whispers to shrugs, then silence. Strength in tandem. Regionals came, OSU scouts in crisp polos. Jake played like fire, every point a declaration. I cheered from the stands. Racket sketches doodled on my program. He won, clinching with a roar that echoed our story. Messy, hard-fought, hours. Post-match, under confetti rain, he found me. They want me. Full ride. Pride swelled. Knew it. But only if you come visit. Weekends. Art shows. Bad diner food. The works. I grinned. Wouldn't miss it. Graduation dawned humid. Caps sailing like freed birds. Elmwood shrank in the rearview as we drove separate but synced. Me to Chicago's lofts. Him to Columbus courts. Betrayal's scar faded to a reminder. Love's not a perfect serve, but a rally. Back and forth, through nets of fear, landing true. Years later, at our 5th anniversary. Simple rings exchanged in a Wrigleyville park. I'd trace his laugh lines, whisper, still unbelievable. And he'd pull me close, racket forgotten. Best shot I ever took. The summer after graduation melted into a haze of part-time gigs and goodbye parties. But for Jake and me, it was a bridge, fragile, spanned by late-night drives and promises etched in fogged car windows. Chicago called me north, a scholarship to the Art Institute whispering of galleries and grit, while OSU pulled him south to Columbus, all Big Ten banners and baseline battles. It's not forever, he'd say, fingers laced through mine on those stolen evenings. The Ohio River gleaming like liquid mercury under moonlit bridges. Just a pit stop till we figure the map. I believed him because what else could I do? Elmwood's ghosts lingered. Those hallway stairs that evolved from venom to vague curiosity. But we'd armored up. Coming out had been a detonation. Sure, but the fallout forged us. My parents adapted with awkward pride. Mom stocking my dorm fridge with care packages of empanadas. Dad muttering, call if you need a tune-up on that rust bucket Civic. Jake's dad, ever the litigator, channeled his discomfort into practical advice, internships, resumes. But he'd shown up to our informal family dinner at the diner, fork-spearing pie as he grilled us on 5-year plans. Progress, Elmwood style. Our first separation hit like withdrawal. Move-in day, I hauled boxes into a shoebox dorm on Michigan Avenue. The L trains rumble a gritty lullaby. Jake's texts lit my phone. Unpacked. Roommate's a tool. Plays banjo at 2 a.m. Miss your sketches. I'd reply with photos of the bean reflecting skyscrapers. Caption urban jungle. Send court pics or I'll draw you as a banjo plucker. But nights stretched long. The city's pulse mocking my solitude. I'd pace the fire escape, sketching his silhouette against imagined baselines, pencil strokes tracing the ache. Midterms loomed when he surprised me. Bus ticket stubbed, duffel slung over his shoulder, materializing at my door with pizza and that grin. Scouts said train hard, not vanish. We devoured slices cross-legged on my futon, grease-slick fingers brushing as we swapped stories. His calc prof with the comb over, my figure drawing class where models held poses like statues of regret. Talk turned tender, vulnerabilities spilling like overfilled mugs. Dad cornered me last week, he admitted, picking at crust. Asked if I was sure about this like it's a major I can switch. I set my plate down, heart twisting. What did you say? That you're the surest thing I've got. End of debate. His hand found mine, thumb circling knuckles. Your turn. City eating you alive. Not with you here. Honesty burned, but so did truth. Missed the courts. The simplicity. He pulled me in, kiss tasting of pepperoni and home. Then let's make new ones. Tomorrow, Grant Park. I've got rackets in the bag. Dawn cracked gray over the lake, but by noon, we were on the park's public courts. Cracked concrete ringed by joggers and dog walkers, the skyline a jagged horizon. No scouts, no stakes. Just us, volleying laughs and lobs under a sky turning improbable blue. A rogue ball sailed into a bush, and as I fished it out, Jake called, "Incoming!" tackling me in a heap of leaves and limbs, his laughter vibrating against my chest. Strangers smiled. For once, we didn't care. That weekend etched patterns we'd repeat. Him crashing my dorm every other month. Me road tripping to OSU for matches where I'd heckle from the cheap seats. Signs scrawled Aces one fan. Holidays anchored us. Thanksgiving at my folks, where Dad grilled Jake on engine specs till Mom intervened with pie. Christmas in Elmwood, Ellie orchestrating a romantic tree trimming with mistletoe traps. Life wasn't seamless. Jealousy's green eye winked in late replies or missed calls. But we navigated, learning love's geometry. Angles of compromise, curves of forgiveness. Sophomore year tested the tensile. Jake's team qualified for nationals. A whirlwind of flights and finals that left him hollow-eyed on FaceTime. Pressure's a beast, he'd confess, towel-draped post-practice. They want wins, not whys. I nodded, but my own storms brewed. A professor dismissing my portfolio as sentimental fluff. The isolation of city nights where horns drowned introspection. One February, doubt crested, I texted, "This distance. Is it cracking us?" His call came instant. On a bus. Chicago. Tonight. He arrived blizzard-battered. Snow crusting his lashes. Collapsing into my arms with a mumbled, "Not cracking. Bending. Like a good serve." We spent the storm holed up, binging old movies and mapping futures on napkins. Joint loft in the city postgrad. His coaching gig funding my exhibits. Betrayal's echo from high school? A faint scar. Reminder to voice fractures before they fissure. Spring bloomed betrayal anew, sly and serpentine. Jake's roommate, Tyler, a lanky psych major with a man bun and opinions, invited him to a guy's weekend in the Ozarks, fishing and fire pits. No girls allowed. "Come on, bro," Tyler ribbed over speakerphone. "Unwind. You've been Mr. Monogamous." Jake laughed it off, but seeds sprouted. Cancelled plans, vague excuses. When I pressed, he'd deflect. "Just team stuff. Love you." I swallowed suspicion, but it festered. Mid-May, Nationals prep peaked. My end-of-year show loomed. A package arrived, his, wrapped in newsprint. New sketchpad, inscribed for the artist who sees me. Tears pricked. Guilt for doubting. But then, a mutual friend, Sarah from Elmwood now at OSU, Dmed. Saw Jake at a party last night. Cozy with some cheer type. "Thought you knew?" The knife twisted slow. Party? Cozy? I paced my studio, brushes clattering. Rage and grief dueling in my gut. Texted him. "Ozarks fun? Or was that code for blonde?" No reply. Hours later, misunderstanding. "Call me." I didn't. Instead, I drove. 4 hours south, fury fueling the tank. Bursting into his dorm past curfew. Tyler gaping from his bunk. Jake, shirtless in sweats, froze mid-text. "Alex, save it." Voice steal, I hurled Sarah's screenshot at his chest. Grainy photo, him, arms slung around a sorority girl. Her head on his shoulder, timestamp post-midnight. His face crumpled. "It's nothing. Team mixer." She was drunk, clung. Clung? Like I'm clinging? Sarcasm cracked. Or like your phase in high school. History repeats, Harlan. He recoiled. That's not fair. I should have told you. Dad's been on me again, alumni donors sniffing for scandals. Tyler said play straight. Loosen up. Play straight. The words poisoned. So you did. Literally. No. Desperation edged his plea. It was stupid. One night. I left early. Came home alone thinking of you. Tears tracked his cheeks. I'm scared. Okay? Of losing the ride, the team, us. But I choose us. Always. I wanted to believe, but fractures spiderwebbed. Scared's one thing. Lying's another. I can't. Throat closed. Need space. I fled. Columbus blurring to blacktop. Heart a punctured ball deflating. Chicago swallowed me. Friends' couches. Midnight walks along the lake where waves mocked my sobs. Jake's voicemails piled. Please. I'm broken without you. Ellie texted. He cries in his sleep. Fix my brother? Summer scorched, separation a kiln firing resolve. I threw into art. Canvases of shattered rackets. Lovers mid-volley frozen in fracture. My show a raw exorcism. Critics called it visceral. I called it survival. Jake? Radio silence, respecting my wall. But a letter arrived. Handwritten. Folded like origami secrets. I betrayed trust, not love. Therapy's teaching me. Fear's the enemy, not you. Wait for me, or let go. Either way, you're my ace. Tears-soaked ink. Wait, or walk. The humanistic ache. People flawed, redeemable, but at what cost? Fall semester dawned, me back in classes, him training states away. A neutral ground meet, art conference in Cincy, beckoned. I went, nerves electric. He waited outside the hall, leaner, eyes haunted. Saw your exhibit online. Blew me away. Thanks. Awkward, the space between us vast as courts. Coffee, neutral turf. A corner cafe, steam rising like peace offerings. Talk flowed halting. His sessions unpacking paternal scripts, my paintings birthing catharsis. I lied to protect a version of me that's dead, he said, stirring sugar into black. The golden boy. Real me wants mornings with you. Sketches on the fridge. No masks. Vulnerability disarmed. Hurts still. Trusts a rally. Gotta earn the point. I know. Let me. His hand hovered. I took it. Slow rebuild. Weekly calls, no cancellations packed. Visits like sacraments. Winter thawed walls. New Year's, we met in Elmwood. Fireworks over the fairgrounds. His kiss under stars a vow. No more betrayals. Team Rivera Harlan. Graduation neared. Futures converging. My thesis exhibit. Tennis courts reimagined as emotional battlegrounds. Jake's portrait central. Eyes fierce. Racket a scepter. He flew in, suit sharp, pride brighter. Marry this life with me, he whispered amid applause. I nodded, tears salt sweet. Ace serve. Years wove us, my gallery gigs in the city, his coaching at a Chicago rec center, full circle to those first lessons. Betrayals? Scars, not shackles, teaching grace. Ellie as flower girl at our wedding, Dad toasting to improbable shots. Human, messy, unbreakable, we rallied on. Marriage wasn't fireworks eternal, but a steady burn. Coals banked against winds, glowing through gray days. We settled in a Logan Square walk-up, exposed brick and creaky floors that echoed our steps like applause. Jake coached inner-city kids at the same rec where we'd sparked, turning rackets into lifelines for boys like I'd been. Quiet, questioning, craving court. I freelanced illustrations for indie mags, my style. Raw lines capturing unspoken longings. Landing covers on zines about queer youth and resilience. Mornings, coffee brewed black, we'd debrief dreams over toast. Evenings, tangled on the couch dissecting case studies. His star pupil dodging gang tags, my client pushing a graphic novel on hidden loves. But peace has predators. Year 3, Jake's old OSU coach called. Pro Academy scout sniffing talent. Dangling a gig in California. Sunshine and serves, Harlan. Your wife's cool with palm trees. Jake laughed it off to me that night. Fork-spearing stir-fry. Tempting? Nah. Chicago's home. I arched a brow, playful. Palm trees sound exotic. Go chase the dream. I'll visit with sketchbooks. His fork paused. Dreams here. Kiss sealed it, but doubt's whisper lingered. Was Elmwood's golden boy restless under city soot? Spring unearthed the serpent. A package arrived and signed, bulky. OSU Alumni Mag, dog-eared to an article. Harlan Eyes Pro Circuit. Family first, but tennis calls. Quote circled. Coaching's fulfilling, but the court's siren song never fades. Attached note, typed anonymous. Heard the rumors. Save yourself. Heart hammered. Rumors? I pocketed it, waited for dinner. Old mags from Dad. Jake shrugged when I mentioned it vaguely. Nostalgia trip. Nod. Smile. But sleep evaded. Mind volleying scenarios. Was Cali code for escape? Another phase. Golden boy shedding skin again? Confirmation cracked a week later. I swung by the wreck after a client meet. Surprise lunch. Falafel wrap steaming. But Jake's office door stood ajar, voices spilling. His, low and urgent. A woman's, smooth as silk. Trials start in July, Jake. UCLA's got housing, think of the exposure. And us, uninterrupted. Us. I froze, shadow in the hall. Jake's reply hesitant. Sarah. It's not that simple. Alex. Sarah from Elmwood? The cheer type? Her laugh tinkled, cruel. Ancient history. This is now. You deserve the spotlight. Not sidelined in some urban grind. Silence stretched, damning. Then, I need time. Meetings, calls. It's a lot. Time. The knife again. Familiar twist. I backed away. Falafel discarded in a bin. Fleeing to the L where anonymity cloaked sobs. Home. I paced our loft. Photos mocking. Wedding grins. Ellie's crayon art on the fridge. Betrayal 2.0. Not a lie, but a half-truth. Ambition's shadow eclipsing us. He came home late, gym bag slung. Kiss automatic to my cheek. Rough day. Peachy. Tone iced. He paused. Radar pinging. Talk to me. I hurled the mag. Pages fluttering like wounded birds. Spotlight? Sarah? Ring any bells. Color drained his face. How? Anonymous well-wisher. Or stalker. Take your pick. Arms crossed. Fortress. He sank to the couch, head in hands. Coach reached out months back. Trials, endorsements, big leagues. I said no. But Sarah. She's coordinator now. Pushed the angle. Dinner meetings. Networking. Dinner with sirens. Bitterness spilled. And us uninterrupted? That's networking. Jealousy's her game. She flirts, always has. I shut it down. Pleading eyes met mine. Every time. By stringing along. Need time. That's not no, Jake. That's maybe. He stood, reaching. You're right. I wavered. The pull, old dreams, validation. Dad's voice in my head. Don't settle. But settling? This loft, your laugh at 3 a.m. Our kids' rec games. That's the win. Kids? We talked adoption loosely, post-honeymoon haze. The word hung, softening edges. Then why hide? Fear. Again. Of disappointing you. Of failing the dream and crawling back. Tears glistened. I'm an idiot, Ace. But yours. Rage ebbed to exhaustion. Prove it. Call her. Now. End it. He did speaker on, voice steal. Sarah, no. I'm out. Families, the circuit. Click. Silence, then. Done. I exhaled, walls cracking. Therapy. Both of us. No more solo rallies. Deal. Hug fierce. Forgiveness a serve returned. Summer healed in increments. Couple sessions unpacked ambition's thorns. His. Rooted in loss. Mine. In abandonment's echo. We vacation Door County. Bikes on trails. Lake dips washing wounds. Fall brought harvest. Jake promoted to rec director. My novel illustrations greenlit. Betrayal? Fertilizer for growth. Humanistic reminder. Love's not static, but a match, points lost. Sets one through grit. Winter whispered new life. Ellie's visit. All teen sass and secrets. Uncle Jake's mushy now. Good mushy. Holiday lights twinkled as we strung them, his arm around me, steady. Best decision, he murmured. Which, me or the falafel dump? Both. Laughter sealed. Future bright as baselines under sun. But stories loop, don't they? Year 5, a curveball, my diagnosis, testicular cancer, early, treatable, but the word alone a roglob. Jake's face in the oncologist's office. Terror masked as resolve. We'll smash it. Team. Chemo blurred months. Nausea waves, hair tufts in the sink. But he was anchor. Cool cloths, bad jokes, courtside vigils reading my sketches aloud. This one's us, racket warriors. Remission rang spring bells. We celebrated with a park rally. My swing rusty but triumphant. See? Unbelievable. He grinned, netting the ball. Always. Kiss under cherry blossoms. Life's drama scripted in pink petals. Decade in, gray threading his gold, my lines deepening, we mentored, a queer center in Pilsen. Sharing our saga. Hooks, heartbreaks, home runs. Betrayals? Chapters, not endings. Human weave, flawed threads, tapestry strong. One anniversary, courtside at dusk, he knelt. Not proposal redux, but renewal. Still choose you. Every serve. I pulled him up, racket in hand. Ace return. And we played on into twilight's embrace. Decades dust settled into rhythms profound. Mornings of shared silence over journals. Jake diagramming youth drills while I inked character arcs for a YA series on found families. Our loft evolved. Bookshelves groaning under tennis memoirs and graphic novels. Walls gallerying Ellie's watercolors alongside my evolutions. From fractured courts to unified horizons. Pilsen Center thrived, a beacon for kids navigating closets and courts alike. We'd tag team workshops, Jake demoing forehands with flair. Elbow up, doubts down. Me sketching live portraits that captured their fire. Yet peace invites tempests. Ellie, now 20 and fierce, a poli-sci junior at Northwestern, crashed holidays with urgency. You two are goals, but Jake, he's distant. Work. We chalked it to burnout. Rec budgets slashed, city politics gnawing at programs. But spring unearthed fissures. Late nights at the center, Jake's phone buzzing anonymous. Miss the old days? Callie still calls. Sarah, ghost from the grave. I confronted over takeout foe, steam veiling my steel. Her again? Delete it. He did. Screen shattering under thumbswipe. Old number leak. Ignore. But eyes evaded, guilt's tell. Trust. Fragile lattice quivered. Sessions resumed. Therapist probing. Patterns? Jake admitted. Ambition's siren still. But I'm moored. Moored. Till summer storm. Center fundraiser. Gala under strung lights. Donors and tuxes mingling with our kids in borrowed polos. Jake shone. Speech on resilience landing laughs and checks, but midway he vanished. I found him alley-shadowed. Phone to ear. Voice hushed. Sarah, stop. It's done. Done? Her reply crackled. Trials resume next year. Your spot's open. Alex holding you back. Click. He turned pale moonlit. Scout call. She inserted herself. Inserted. Fury flamed. Like before? When networking meant nights out. Alex. No. I stormed Pavilion Ward. Donors chatter a roar. Home. Locks clicked final. He arrived dawn-cracked, begging entry. Talk. I demanded, coffee bitter as betrayal. She's relentless. Coach retired. She runs recruitment now. Pushes the pro dream, money, travel. I told her no, but sigh heavy. The what if nags. What if I peaked at 20? What if I drag us down? Drag? You're my peak. Voice broke. But lies erode. This cycle, fear, flirt, fracture. It's killing us. He knelt, concrete biting knees. Then end it. Or help me break it. Tears carve tracks. I love you. Flawed. Fighting, but yours. Humanity's hook. Redemption's not linear, but labored. We pivoted, joint sabbatical, road trip tracing tennis trails. Wimbledon ghosts in Philly exhibits, US Open echoes in NYC sketches. Nights in motels we'd unpack. His paternal echoes demanding gold. Mine, artist's dread of obscurity. We're enough, I'd affirm. His head on my chest, heartbeat baseline. Fall mended meshes. Center stabilized, funded by a doc donor moved by Jake's raw gala postscript. Wins aren't trophies. They're the kid who swings first. Sarah? Blocked? Blacklisted. Her Cali empire a distant hum. Winter warmed with wonder. Adoption papers processed. Twin boys from foster care, Jamal and Theo, 4-year-old whirlwinds with curls and curiosities. First court day. Tiny rackets, giggles over gutters. Jake scooped Jamal mid-tumble. Easy, champ. Daddy's got you. Theo tugged my shorts. Draw me winning? Gallery that night. My exhibit, rallies of the heart, portraits of our patchwork. Ellie's grin, boys' chaos, Jake's steady gaze. He stood beside, arm linked, whispering, our masterpiece. But life's script twists. Year 12, Theo's fever spiked, leukemia, the onc-word redux but pediatric, ferocious. Hospital fluorescence buzzed our vigil. Jake pacing corridors, me sketching dragons to distract Jamal. Chemo cycles blurred. Hairless Theo clutching my bear. Jamal's questions piercing. Why sick? Why not? Jake echoed one midnight. Cot sprung beside me. We've rallied worse. We did. Fundraisers swelled center ties. Ellie's campaign network trials. Remission dawn's summer solstice. Beach picnic. Theo's toes in sand. Declaring, I'm a fighter like Papa Jake. Triumph tempered. Fall, a letter. OSU alumni apology. Sarah exposed. Harassment suit for predatory scouting. Vindication, bittersweet. Jake burned it. Past's ash. Forward. Decade plus, boys ballooned, Jamal tennis prodigy. Theo artist like me, court doodles framing home. Ellie wed in our garden. Vowing no betrayals, only serves. Parents aged graceful. Dad wrenching boys' bikes. Mom's empanadas fueling drills. One anniversary, courts aglow dusk. Jake pulled me netside. 15 years. Still unbelievable. More. Racket raised, volley eternal. Betrayals? Fertilized fields, human soil, yielding stories of grace. We played. Suns cheering, life's match unending. Legacy isn't etched in stone but sketched in sand. Waves reshaping, tides testing endurance. Boys hit double digits. Our loft traded for a Wicker Park brownstone with yard for swings and serves. Jamal, wiry and relentless, dominated junior leagues. Jake coaching sidelines with proud restraint. Your fire, kid, not mine. Theo, quieter, filled sketchpads with fantastical beasts. Our studio a riot of charcoals and half-eaten PB and JS. Ellie, Congress-bound firebrand, crash summers with policy rants and niece-nephew spoiling. Life's mosaic. Cracks gilded, betrayal's distant thunder. Win, his eyes shadowed, old sirens stirring. Rehab dragged autumn gold to winter gray. Center duty sidelined, he tinkered garage projects. Racket refinishes, boy band bikes. But nights, he'd stare phone ward, thumb hovering unsent texts. I caught one draft. Coach Harlan here. Cali chat? Old times. Old times. Heart sank. Who? Casual stirring soup. Ghost. Delete. But doubt's vine crept. Confirmation coiled spring. Center gala redux. Glitz masking grants. Jake Kane-assisted charm. Network donors. I mingled artist's circle. But mid-toast, Sarah materialized, poised, silver-streaked. Reformed per whispers, suit settled out of court. Alex, air kiss cool. Jake's mentioned you. Legacy man. Mentioned? To her? Nausea swirled champagne. Later, valet line. Them huddled. Her hand on his arm, sympathy squeeze? Or serpent's coil? He pulled away, spotting me. She smirked, vanishing into night. Confront home. Cane clattering. Her? Again? Donor lead. She pledged 5 figures for the kids. Defensive. Or hook. Voice quavered. Drafts? Huddles. History's remix? He deflated. Cane prop. Knees got me useless. She called. Opportunities abroad. Coaching gigs. Flattery's bomb. But I said no. Flattery or flirt? Tears hot. 18 years. And Callie's ghost haunts? Ghosts haunt us both. Quiet storm. Your books tour late nights. Fans fawning. Jealousies mutual. Sting fair. My YA series. Court of Secrets. Queer tennis tale thinly veiled us. Signings swarmed admirers.
Touché.
But I don't draft texts to exes. Silence schismed. Sessions tripled. Therapist mapping. Triggers? Unresolved ambition. Jake unpacked. Injuries identity theft. Who am I sans court? You, I countered. Husband. Dad. Anchor. Summer sutured. Family camp. Ozarks ironic. Cabins by lakes. Boys cannonballing doubts. Kane ditched. Jake hiked trails with Jamal. Ghost stories round fires with Theo. Sarah's pledge cleared. No strings. Per audit. See. He grinned. Esmore's gooey. Team unbreakable. Fall flowered forgiveness. Book tour wrapped. Me home sketching family portraits. Jake's rehab rallied. Center clinic blooming under his lead. Boys recital. Jamal's serve demo. Theo's beast puppet. Our cheers thunder. But cycles crest. Year 20 pandemic shadow loomed. Centers shuttered. Tours virtual. Isolation incubating ills. Jake, ever fixer, volunteered frontline. Masks and meals for families. Heroic, but home hollowed. His shifts endless. My studio solitary. One dawn, laptop aglow, email chain, him to Sarah. Advice on virtual coaching? Europe's model? Advice? Or avenue? Heart fractured afresh. Europe. Breakfast accusation. Research. Wince. Center's future. Hybrid programs. She's expert now. Expert entangler. Weary war. 20 years, Jake. When's enough? His mask slipped. Literal, figurative. Never if doubt rules. But it doesn't. Delete. I nodded but Rift yawned. Lockdown locked us in. Puzzles with boys. Zoom toasts with Ellie. But tension simmered. Snapped words over dishes. Silence as thick as fog. Breakthrough brewed storm night. Thunder rattled panes. Boys asleep. We sat kitchen island. Whiskey neat. I'm scared. He confessed, glass circling rings. Aging out, knees creak, dreams defer. Sarah's a mirror, what could be? And I'm the anchor sinking you? Soft. Seeking. No grounding. Hand over mine. Without you, I chase ghosts. With, I'm home. Tears mingled liquor. Then haunt together. No solos. Post-plague, renewal rose. Center's hybrid hardened. My sequel penned in tandem. Jake's input on arcs. Boys teen tall. Jamal scouted. Ironically Callie. Theo's beasts gallery bound. Ellie elected, swearing in with our rings borrowed luck. Anniversary 22. Courts renovated. Fresh green. Lights eternal. Jake, silver foxed, served soft. Still my ace. Forever return. Volley voiced vows unspoken. Legacy? Not perfection but persistence, betrayals as backhands, propelling forward. Human arc. Stumbles to strides. Love's long rally. We played. Stars witnesses. Unbreakable bond.